Hey everyone, welcome to a Monday edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron. I know nobody cares, but we're all in three different places. I'm in San Diego. Josh, who just blacked out on the screen, is in Indianapolis, and Mario's in Washington, D.C. So the show basically goes on the road. So you guys aren't aware, we had a major earthquake today, you know? And so Mario,
Oh,
you never been in one. You grew up in Chicago, Indiana, D.C., and different natural disasters. Earthquakes to me aren't, it's not like we're, no offense, but it's not like we're in Mexico City where they're massive. This is the first big one that I've felt in San Diego, where it felt like somebody picked up the house and just spiked it back into the ground. It was a big shake. And so the dog ran off, couldn't find the dog, the whole deal. And it was it was a big deal. And you look up and your chandeliers are all swinging back and forth. If you have a swimming pool, the water's moving around like crazy in the pool. But it was one of those that was kind of surprising that all of a sudden you just don't know when it's going to happen. So we had a big earthquake. So everyone, I think in Southern California, meaning from LA to down here, either they felt it or they just reached out because they knew about it. But it was a good shot. It was a good shot.
well, now I gotta ask a question because I've never, like you said, I've never experienced an earthquake before. Good time, scary time, or all out bad time? Being in the
Always.
pool during an
Well,
earthquake.
okay. Well, it's always scary because you never know how long it's going to be, how bad it's going to be. I mean, you've seen
Fair.
around the world when there are major earthquakes and obviously the structure comes down, whether it's the roof or whatever, you just don't know how long it's going to last. That's the big thing. But the earthquake, it's like, all right, we survived. And if anything fell off the walls and broke, but otherwise it is not fun. But I'll take an earthquake usually over a tornado or a hurricane for sure.
Tornadoes are a tough one.
Yeah.
I will tell you that one. Been in those a couple before. Holy hell, will that get your, you know what, about 2 inches? You know what I mean? Like that's scary. Josh, how we doing? How's
My wi-
how's 317?
my Wi-Fi sucks, as you can tell. I feel like Indianapolis is the most average American city.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, it's not great. It's not bad. It's right in the middle. What do you think?
Everything that you want is very close to you, but it's not anything you really want, but maybe you might need. That's the way I
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. Like it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a really nice restaurant down here. No, it's, an average one and you need food. So,
Yeah, I went to the Yard House, which is the most average place of all time in the most average city. And then I ran into the most average Palestine riot on the way back yesterday. So everything here is just so average.
An average riot.
Hey, I would argue that's a step in the right direction for Indianapolis because about 3 years ago, you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get a good riot. So we're going in the right direction.
I'm proud of them. Proud of them.
Proud of them.
What's on the dial for today? 22nd pick. Oh yeah, I want to talk about this actually.
Okay.
We're gonna do the giveaway. Okay, I'm gonna give the directions on how to do this. Send me Bolt Crew Pod on Twitter your draft mock for the first round. Okay, if you get the pick right, it counts as 1 point. The way that this works, let's say you have Colston Loveland going to the Chargers. If you have the Chargers trading up to 15 and getting Colston Loveland, you get it right. Okay. It doesn't matter where they pick him. For every player that goes to the team that you say, same thing with the Saints and Shedeur. If they trade up for him and they get him, it counts as you get the pick right. Whoever gets the most picks right gets a jersey of their choice.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Yep. There you go.
Let's
That's what
go.
I do. I'm a giver.
The hard part is figuring out where the trades are going to be, right? You just don't know who's going to be active as far as trades go. You kind of get an idea, like we have a general manager who's not supposed to be known, that's going to be known for trading. And then, other teams like the Ravens, same thing, not known for trading. But when you're desperate to get your guy, you get your guy, right? I mean, you're hearing a lot of talk today that the Steelers are willing to trade TJ Watt to get their quarterback.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. For who? Who's their quarterback?
I don't know who their quarterback is. Now, that doesn't mean it's somebody in the draft. That can mean somebody on someone else's roster.
Is it Lamar Jackson? Like, who are you trading TJ Watt for? I don't understand that move at all.
Okay, I'm thinking the same damn thing. Mario, I know I'm cutting you off. I keep Josh.
No, you're good. I'm trying to.
Okay, so think about it. Is there a quarterback, or is there, if you had a team that has a starting quarterback in the league right now, are you willing to trade your starting quarterback for TJ Watt? I mean, what are you thinking?
That's a hell of a question. What do you think, Mario?
I mean, if that just seems just like the most on Pittsburgh like move of all time to do is to trade TJ Watt. And so I think it's a very low percent chance of happening. And I don't know if it's really worth the squeeze in this draft. Would it really be worth it to give up TJ Watt and you get in the top 5 for Shedeur? Like, does that really, spring you forward?
Okay,
That division.
What if they're looking for an established quarterback though, Mario? Let's say they're looking for. I'm throwing out like a guy like Stafford, someone who's established. I'll give you a guy who's an established quarterback that's sitting there right now that's not supposed to get playing time is Kirk Cousins. Now it seems like that price tag seems too high. TJ Watt is worth way more to me than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins sucks. Raiders suck, and they pass on Kirk Cousins.
But the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is a guy that's supposed to be in that situation. Is he a retired guy? Is an out of the league guy? I mean, are the Steelers desperate because they waited to the last minute to address this problem?
Yeah, they are. And I don't understand what they're doing with their quarterback situation. Kenny Pickett is the guy you're going to have come in. You're going to have Justin Fields come in, do well, and then replace him with Russell Wilson. What was your end game there? Were you expecting Justin Fields to suck? I don't understand anything that the Pittsburgh Steelers have done with their quarterback situation since Big Ben retired.
The organization as a whole has been just fucking purgatory ever since Big Ben left and AB left and Le'Veon. Ever since that era ended, they've been kind of stuck there. But the TJ Watt, the trading away, like look at what happens to that team when Watt's not on the field. Every time that he's not playing, guys, it's a thing in the betting world. Bet against him because it's so bad. But when he's on that field, they win. He's that big of a difference maker. He's that big for that defense and that big for that team's morale. So to trade him away, I think would be a sign of that they're saying goodbye to everything from the Pittsburgh old ways of doing, right? That means it'd be going away with Tomlin. Like Tomlin would sign off on that. I doubt it. And if you want to trade him away for an established guy, Cousins is not it at that age and what he put up this past year. This past year, he showed that this injury is glaring on him and that his, best days are far behind him. There's not really like a big QB on the market. There's not a guy that's requested a trade. No one really wants out right now. So unless you, I think, see Sanders throw at his pro day or there's an interview or there's something that you just absolutely love about the guy, or you want to make a call to Tennessee and, you really like Cam Ward and you see if that can kind of do it for you, I think they're kind of going to stay put and Tomlin's going to go, look, I'm fine with winning another 9 or 10 games this year with Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback and kind of, go from there and we'll see what happens. Maybe they draft Jackson Dart in like the 2nd round or maybe late, but that's Kenny Pickett 2.0.
I think Jackson Dart is he's going in the 1st round. I think people are that desperate where Jackson Dart's going in the 1st. I don't know if he's going to be an elite player. It seems like Jackson Dart, you're hearing, 50-50 on things that his arm is weak, that he's accurate, but he doesn't beat good teams in college. How you expect him to beat good teams in the NFL? The Steelers are a strange franchise for me because as long as, we've done this show, we started this show in 2022. I always compliment the Pittsburgh Steelers on their organization and the fan base and everything that the Steelers do. And I've never even been to Pittsburgh. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just looking for teams that are consistent because we see teams that go up and down all the time. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the 49ers, the Cowboys, other organizations that people follow that have a huge fan base. The Steelers always seem to be, kind of right there. And they have a coach that all 3 of us have said nice things about. The Steelers, to me, right now are a complete mess. I mean, here we are. The draft is a little bit more than a week away as we do the show right now. And the Steelers aren't prepared. The Steelers remind me of that friend that you have that you're like, hey, dude, the plane takes off tomorrow at 7 a.m. Are you packed? No, I'll get to it, though. And then before you know it, they're rushing to hurry up and pack, and they miss their flight. And you're like, dude, you had a month to get ready. And the Steelers seem so disorganized right now. It doesn't seem like Pittsburgh Steeler football organization. That being said, Mike Tomlin, I don't think is the right fit for this organization any longer. Like it's time, I think, to move on from a defensive coach because this is an offensive league. All the rules are meant for offense, and I always push towards offensive coaches. But Mike Tomlin hasn't done anything with these guys in a long time. Just like Josh said a second ago, take a step back to where you were 9 months ago when you brought in Justin Fields, and he's going to get a shot. but then you follow up by bringing Russell Wilson right behind him. And then when Justin Fields is doing fine, Fields, you're going to sit on the bench. Makes 0 sense for no reason. We're just going to sit you on the bench. And Russell Wilson, we're going to give you the job. And oh boy, we love Russell Wilson. But come playoff time, we're going to say a bunch of terrible things about Russell Wilson. And when the season ends, both you guys are fired. Like it's such a mess right now in Pittsburgh that I wouldn't want to be the head coach of that team either. And if I was Deion Sanders, I sure as hell wouldn't want my kid playing quarterback for the Steelers.
Where do you want your kid to go? I mean, how many organizations in the NFL are in a good place and need Shedeur Sanders? Not many.
No. If I'm Deion, I would have hoped for the Giants before they signed Russell Wilson to put him with Dable, because Dable's known for doing very well with young quarterbacks.
You say that, but I mean, the Giants are an S show. We watched them last offseason. They got rid of Saquon, the guy that just won the big game. I mean, I don't understand anything some of these teams do. And it's really crazy that the Steelers have found themselves in this position. If you look at their roster right now, Mario, it's Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. I don't know how you can justify as a Steelers fan or the Steelers organization that you're going to let Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders go by you in the draft. If they're available, I think you have to take one of those guys because you have nobody on this roster to win games. Mason Rudolph still has half a head from when he got hit by Myles Garrett. I mean, the guy, you want him to be your quarterback out there? This thing is ridiculous. I don't understand what they're doing. And Dave always says the worst position is to be that team that's not contending for the Super Bowl, but not bad enough to have a top pick. And that's exactly what they are. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Mario, have turned into the Portland Trail Blazers.
Oh, yeah, with Dame, especially in that moment. Like, that's where they're at right now. I think, too, with Pittsburgh, like, we say if Sanders comes to you, if Dart gets you, you have to snag him. Well, the Saints coming out and saying that Derek Carr is not going to be ready for the start of the season, like, that affects that, And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know what you're thinking. I said last show that only 2 QBs going to be drafted in the first round, and I'm going to change that. Well, you can shove that up a you-know-what, because Jackson Dart's still not going in the first round. I'm still standing by that take. I don't think he's going to go. I think he's going to be sitting there on day 2. Because honestly, though, like, if you're a team like Pittsburgh, you're pretty comfortable with going to bridge quarterback. If you're the New York Jets, you're pretty comfortable doing your bridge quarterback. Saints, that's where I think they take Sanders, but a team after that, like, who else really needs one? I don't think the Colts would do it. I think the Colts are going to go O-line or tight end, and tight end screws us over. The Seahawks aren't going to do it. They have Darnold, and they just signed him to a fat extension. Who else is going to sit there and take a QB that's a project? Like, I really don't think Rams are going to do it. I think next year is the time where you take a QB later on. Or maybe you get aggressive and go up early. If anything, you let these suckers, fall to the second day where that's where their value is.
I tell you what, I look at this quarterback class, and I believe in one. There's one quarterback I believe in.
Yeah.
And that's one that's supposed to go first. Everyone else, to me, is a big gamble if you're a general manager. I'm not sold on all these guys. I basically did almost my entire mock draft. I think there are only 2 teams looking at my mock draft, and I know we're all going to do one, and mine will switch around. But I think there are only 2 teams I hadn't figured out yet. But I did have Jackson Dart going number 9 to the New Orleans Saints. And the reason I had him going number 9 to the Saints is I had at number 7. I had Shedeur Sanders going to the Jets.
Let me float an idea to you, and you tell me if I'm crazy or not. Okay.
Can I tell you why, real quick? Can I tell you why I have Dart going to the Saints? Because I don't think the Saints are a very smart organization. There's certain organizations that I think are well run, and I just don't think the Saints are one of those. That's why when you aren't a well run organization, you make stupid mistakes. I don't think Jackson Dart's worthy of that pick. I just think that's what the Saints are going to do.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy for that at all. I could see that happening. Tell me if you think I'm crazy about this one. Jalen Milroe to the Steelers, round 1.
Insanity.
Why?
Hold on. Who do you think's crazy? The Steelers or Josh?
Both. And that's there.
Dude, I could totally see it. I don't know why. He loves Alabama guys. He's a freak. I don't know. He's a great leader. Like, if you had to pick a guy in the draft that was most like Mike Tomlin, you'd probably say it's like Jalen Milroe. Very serious, really nice guy. I don't know if Mike Tomlin's nice or not. I'm assuming he is. But I could just see him saying, that's my guy. That's the type of guy I want to be the quarterback of my team. I think it'd be a terrible pick, and I'm a huge Alabama fan. He's definitely Anthony Richardson 2.0, which is not saying much.
He's I'm blanking on who's the Tennessee quarterback from the New England.
Malik Willis?
No,
No,
he's
not Malik Willis. The Tennessee guy, Milton. Milton.
Oh my God.
Where, like,
Oh, you're talking about
yeah.
the Tennessee Volunteers?
Yeah. That's a comparison I have for Miller. Crazy good athlete. Lot of like if you just watch the Georgia game, like that first half, you go, "Geez, this guy can
Bro.
freaking ball." But then you watch other tape, and you're like, "Dude, there's a lot of things missing." You don't think that's a fair comparison? I think it's very fair.
I think it's no. I'm shaking my head because of just Joe Milton's name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, go watch Joe Milton and Anthony Richardson duke it out. It is the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. Joe Milton
It's
could put
terrible.
a hole through a brick wall, but he can't hit a slant. He's like
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell. I mean, the whole Joe Milton thing with Jalen Milroe, I think is a great comparison. He has the most insane arm talent. Jalen Milroe doesn't have an arm like that. But from an athlete perspective, Jalen Milroe might be the best quarterback athlete since like Cam Newton. He's a freak.
I would say I'd watch out for Milroe being drafted, and if he's up for it, because he has to be up for it, be used as a Taysom Hill role. I think that would be
That's
perfect
what he
for Milroe.
is.
Yeah, like, that's
exactly
perfect.
what he is. If he thinks he's a drop back quarterback, he's out of his freaking mind. Dave and I have watched more
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, Josh said to me about a week or so ago, if this draft was about the nicest guys and the smartest guys, he's a straight A student, just like the nicest human beings, dude, he'd be the number one overall pick in the draft. Like, there's nothing bad to say about him as a human being. The guy spent so much time in children's hospitals and visiting, and he's a great guy. But again, doesn't mean I want him as my starting quarterback. I could see him obviously going, second round. He should not be a first round quarterback. I wish he was great. He's not. He's just not a great he's not a great NFL quarterback. I watch him against big time teams, and he needs more time to throw the ball. It just doesn't work that way in the NFL. He never, to me, figured it out in college football when you needed it most. It just didn't happen. And so a guy that you look at goes, he needs more reps. Well, he did get a lot of reps, man, in college. It wasn't like a situation where he only played 1 year. He did get multiple years, and he did have really good coaching. And it just didn't work out for him. To say you're going to jump to the NFL and figure it out, I don't know. Great guy. I hope it works out. I don't see it. Want me to tell you who I have the Steelers taken? By the way, I'm all pumped up because I'm pretty sure I'm not changing to this one. I got running back Marion Hampton, North Carolina, going to the Steelers. To me, that seems like a Steelers pick.
Could totally see that.
I agree with that.
I think that would make a lot of sense now that Najee's with the Chargers. You got your two running backs with Jalen Warren and Hampton. It's not a bad pick. I'm just saying, keep your eyes on Milroe. Could sneak into that first round, Mario.
I hope somebody takes him because we don't need a quarterback as the Charger fan. You know what I mean? Let someone else waste that pick.
Chargers aren't going to take a quarterback.
No, I'm saying we don't need him. So it just opens
up.
Oh,
you're saying to take away take away another good player.
Yeah.
You're right. I get what you're saying. Got it.
Go ahead.
That's why like that Colts spot, man. Like I'm really praying that the Colts get little nuts there, because there's safe options they could go, but I really want them to be a little crazier with what they might need, and if Shador's there, like do they kind of pull the trigger on that? Like why not? Because like to be honest with you, I know we're crapping on the QB class and everything, but like Shador's ceiling is fantastic. Like there is a universe, there is a way where he is an all-pro quarterback. Like that's not insanity. But the floor, the floor of it's bad.
Dude, there's a very good chance he gets hit less in the NFL than he did at Colorado. I mean, his dad did such a poor job protecting him, and he's extremely accurate. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. So it's really important he goes to the right situation. Dion, in his mind, has an idea where he wants him to go. I don't know if that means coach or organization, but if you pick coach, Cleveland's supposed to have a coach that knows what he's doing when it comes to offense. But yet the organization has a history of not being good and never been to a Super Bowl. So
I almost feel like the Browns should never draft a rookie quarterback. Like just keep using bets because you guys can't develop anything. Any rookie quarterback that goes there sucks. Look at Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback. Pretty good. Awful with the Browns. But with the Bucks, he's pretty damn good. I mean, Johnny Manziel sucked from the beginning, but I don't think that was their fault. Every quarterback that goes there, Brandon Weeden, 88 years old as a rookie, he sucks. All the guys that go there are terrible. We bring up the Indianapolis Colts. Oh my God, from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
come throw up on myself. When you bring up the Indianapolis Colts, Colston Loveland is rumored to be one of the guys they're keeping their eye on. Could you see that?
That's what worries me, because if I think they're a team that can rob the Chargers of getting Loveland. That's the my nightmare. The what I don't want them to go or do. But at the same time, that's a roster where it's not like, you know, if the tight end's the only spot they need, like they have a lot of holes in that roster, Dave. There's a lot of issues with that team. And if they do, want to go tight end, that makes sense. But if also they want to go O-line, that makes sense. They went from having the most expensive O-line in all of football and be rated the top O-line to, I think a middle schooler could get by it. And so they got to rebuild that a little bit. And if, you can make any QB, Shane Steichen's a very good coach. He's a very good offensive mind, and you can make any good QB great if you have a solid O-line, and maybe that's what they convince themselves, with going and drafting an O-line with that first round and, having Jonathan Taylor be behind of strong guys, and he can get 5 yards per carry. But that's the team, Dave, where I go, if you want to just really screw up my freaking Thursday, one, the board in Chicago have to break on BetMGM tonight and not have a panic attack. And two, they would take Colson Loveland at that pick.
Okay. Well, it's funny. I have Colson Loveland actually going to the Colts in my mock draft. Again, we'll release the whole thing. We'll all do it. I do have him going to the Colts because I went crazy earlier with Tyler Warren where I think he's going to go. I've seen different people put Loveland ahead of Warren, which shocks me. Not saying that one's getting that much better than the other, but I'm kind of surprised by that when it seemed like Warren was, without a doubt, supposed to be the number one tight end in the class. When people reverse them, kind of surprises me now as we get a little bit closer. This is also the time of the year where general managers leak stuff out, I believe, to throw other teams off their trail, right? If you have your idea of a guy, you aren't going to mention that guy to anybody. You're going to keep it quiet and you're going to throw a name out there of a player that will all of a sudden he's the talk. And then some team jumps and they grab him. Happens every year. And so you wonder, who actually has, information, doesn't have information. So it'll be interesting to watch. Again, I'm excited about this. As what are we, about 10 days away from the draft?
Yeah.
So
Good
I mean,
math.
I'm super excited to see exactly how this thing goes. I have a rundown of what some of the so-called experts have on their final mocks. Do you guys want to hear what they have for the Chargers?
Yes.
Okay.
Please, Dad.
All right, so the Athletic has the Chargers taking Omarion Hampton, North Carolina running back. If they took him in the first round, do you like it? Not like it? I'd be shocked.
I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't like it either. I just don't feel like it's the biggest need right now.
I'd be surprised.
I'd be pretty shocked. Yeah. Well, it would be, then why get like Najee Harris?
Exactly. It doesn't seem like the Chargers are doing that. When I see stuff like that, it's like what I told you guys last week. It's like, did the Athletic even try? Do you guys just not pay attention to what happens in Los Angeles? A little frustrating.
Listen to Daniel Popper, what he has to say.
Yeah. Here we go. USA Today has Colson Loveland, tight end Michigan.
I think that's the favorite right now. That's
what
I see.
That is what I see. Do you know who they picked? Who they had like people before they had that there? As I try to frame that question, that sounds stupid.
You got to find it.
Yeah, that's fair. As soon as I asked it, I don't know why I just didn't look it up. I got a laptop in front of me.
Don't know. You want me to keep moving on?
Yeah. Keep moving on.
Real quick, do you think both you guys? Do you think that's the most likely pick, or are you guys leaning towards Gray Zabel or Walter Nolan or some of these other guys that you hear about?
I think it's the most likely pick that makes sense. Like if they said, "Hey guys, guess what? Yeah, Joe Ortiz has food poisoning and Harbaugh overslept again. We needed to make this pick." Where are you going? You're taking Loveland, probably, right?
All right, let me ask you a question. Like in a betting situation. Let me ask you a question. In a betting situation, if I give you these three guys or the field, what would you take? Do you think the Chargers draft Colson Loveland, Gray Zabel, or Kenneth Grant, or the field? You would take the field?
I would take the field.
Wait, say those names again? You say those names.
Loveland, Gray Zabel, and Kenneth Grant. One of those three or the field. What would you take?
Those three.
You think the Chargers take those three?
Yeah.
Not
one of those.
Now, I'm not saying those three aren't great. I'm just saying, from my opinion, I have no idea what they're going to do. That's why I say I would take the field. I just have no idea.
I
No
think the
idea.
reason so actually I was thinking about this. Let's look at like this time last year, right? Every mock draft, it was literally what? Alt or neighbors. Maybe it's
Yeah,
sprinkled in
that's right.
Harrison.
That's right.
Sprinkled in Harrison.
But if you have a pick that high, it gets smaller. Once you have the
Absolutely.
22nd pick, it's like way more options.
Absolutely. But that's just the part that fascinates me. Is like last year, it was just like alt neighbors, alt or neighbors. Like that was like the discussion we're having. And then you flash forward to like this year, and it's like, just even the mock drafts you have pulled up. By the way, that I found that mock draft of US today. We got to go back because there's some nuts ones in there.
There are, right?
Yeah. I was reading through. I'm like, dude, this guy's taking some pops and going. But like even this year, just even what we're like looking at, it's like from Hampton to Zabel to Loveland to Warren to Kenneth Grant. Like it is such a wide spread of guys. I mean, there's even one I saw that had Tate from Arizona going, and I'm like, this is the craziest spread of possibilities that we've ever seen. And like the Chargers organization are keeping it very tight, right? Like they don't let a lot of leaks out. If you want to know what's going inside that building, you better be sitting on the goddamn lap, because if you're not going to hear anything.
I agree with Mario. Dave known the team longer. Have you ever seen a situation where there's like 15 people that are like, they got to get him? Like, I can't remember a time it's been that many guys. Even when they drafted Quentin Johnston, we're like, they're going to get Addison or Flowers or a receiver. This was like literally 15 different people, like Golden, Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Gray Zabel, Loveland, Warren. I mean, I've even seen Mason Taylor, the tight end. Like, I've seen so many different players.
Yeah.
You know what it is, though? It shows you Joe Ortiz is supposed to be, I guess, a very good poker player. If he's not letting anything slip, I mean, people in that building are keeping it quiet. That, when I used to be around, cover the team, and Telesco was the GM, people didn't know. Like he said, his wife didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, he goes, you can't take a chance of that information ever slipping out. I mean, all good GMs in every sport, that's what you hear all the time. Andrew Friedman said that about like Ohtani, like, because my wife didn't know anything, because I never talked about it. Only the people I trusted most, which was only one person. He said, you just can't ever let anything slip out. Otherwise, if people respect, if Ortiz, does extremely well, and this is what he's known for, killing it in the draft, all of a sudden everyone's going to be trying to get information from him from years to come. Like, what's he going to do? The guy never misses. That's the reputation you want.
And not telling your wife anything. So I think it's like a marriage issue, but keep going with your mock draft.
That would be therapy.
All right, here we go. So Mel Kiper, which is funny, man. Out of all the crazy mock drafts, Mara, that you were just talking about, some crazy stuff out there, and we ripped them. Dude, the more I look at Mel Kiper, his makes the most sense this year, which is kind of frustrating for me. Like, I want to say he's way offline, but I think Mel Kiper's done a pretty good job on his mock draft. The phone thing last week threw me off, that Mel Kiper doesn't own a cell phone.
He has one, but he doesn't use it.
Yeah, he has one, but he doesn't use it. Uses the landline. Doesn't want to be bothered, he said, so he doesn't use it. That threw me off.
Have going on?
That's really good too when you're a journalist and like you're supposed to be calling sources and talking to sources, and you just don't have a phone. That's really smart.
Yeah, his wife picks up. Hey, Joe Ortiz on the line. Hang up the other line. I got it.
Yeah.
What's this?
What's going on?
It's really smart.
So Kiper, as we said last week, he likes Gray Zabel, which a lot of people who are Charger fans reached out, and they like him too. We all three of us kind of went, what? But a lot of Charger fans were extremely vocal on saying, why are you guys hating on Zabel? He can play guard. He can play center. He'd be perfect for this team.
Okay, first off, you guys are too mean sometimes. Too mean. I got feelings too, all right? Look, I understand. If the Chargers believe he's going to be a good player, I'm all for it. He's from North Dakota, which doesn't mean he can't produce at the NFL level. I'm just saying the competition's not great. And he's a tackle that's going to be moving to the inside most likely. Those are two things you got to keep in, the top of mind. I don't know. All right. But if I say I don't like a guy, you guys want to kill me like I'm the dumbest person on earth. I might be. Just be a little bit nicer. That's all.
Be a little bit nicer.
I just think a tight end or pass catcher is a bigger need, or even defensive lineman is a bigger need than O-line, personally, at this very stage.
There's 1 million guys that are projected as second, third, and fourth round interior offensive linemen. You can get one of those guys. Or if you believe Greg Zabel's that guy in the first round, get him. There's lots of options.
All right, ready to move on?
Yes.
Already told the USA Today says Colson Loveland. Here we go. PFF has Kenneth Grant, Michigan. Mario,
I think
there's
that's the second most likely pick besides
there's your
Colson
answer
Loveland.
right there. What you just asked for.
I'm for it. I mean, we need more. We just lost Poona Ford, which hurt us bad. He's the third best defensive tackle in this class, according to the beast that the Athletic did. He's going to be familiar with the defense that the Chargers run. He's going to be familiar with Harbaugh. He's a 2-year starter. He's insanely good, insanely physical. He has a great run presence, which would be huge for the Chargers. I would like to pick a lot. And the Chargers got to get a little bit younger on the D-line, man.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. My favorite one, believe it or not, NFL.com. It's Gennaro Felice. He has Tyler Warren tied in Penn State, and he has Loveland going to the Colts. But if Tyler Warren drops all the way to 22, man, I will be shocked.
Does that mean that a couple picks before us, people forgot to phone in their picks and they just missed
Yeah.
their picks? How did we get
Yeah,
Tyler
yeah.
Warren? I would love to see that one, to see how that happened.
I would be on cloud 9, man. I'd be freaking out if we got Tyler Warren.
I'm going streaking. Yeah, I'd be super
Yeah.
happy.
I would
Right
be
through-
like,
Right through that riot or whatever's going downtown in Indianapolis right
I'm
now.
going to join the Palestinian riot naked. That's how happy I
Yeah.
would be if they got Tyler Warren.
they would trade up in this scenario too, by the way, with the Buccaneers
How high is that?
to 19. It's not too high.
Oh, okay. I'm all for that. Trade up if you want to get that guy.
Yeah, you get your guy. I'm all for it. So that's it. So for just those for this week of what they have going out. But anyway, I don't hate any of these picks. I mean, every single one of them. There's not one where I just come on. I don't hate any of them. I did hate the Quentin Johnston pick. I don't like that one at all on the day it happened.
That I still wish we had like that video of just when they asked Josh and I like what we thought of it. Josh was just like, "You guys think this is a good pick? You really think this is gonna work out?" Baldy was like, "Yeah, I mean, there's something there." Like, okay, sure.
Wait, who did I said that about Quentin Johnston?
Yeah, like I literally
Yeah.
remember you so
Yeah,
well
that's
going.
who
I'm
started
not
it.
that too pumped up about it because I know usually on draft shows too, like, I mean, we've all like been a part of or like seen them. You're supposed to always just there's that famous Bill Simmons one where he's like, "Did they really just take Anthony?" I'm blanking on his name, but with the
Bennett?
first pick, Bennett, yeah. And but like in those draft shows, you're supposed to just pump up the prospect the whole time. Like you're not really supposed to say like, "Yeah, that was just." I mean, what a dumbass! This guy's going. This guy should go to the third round. You're not really supposed to say that, but at that moment, like you could tell from Josh and I, Josh was just like, "What are we doing here?"
You did do that. Exactly what
Dude.
you did. You guys like this pick?
We were talking about it. It pisses me off all over again. We're talking about we're like Addison or Flowers. We're gonna get one of them. Like, oh my god, this is actually gonna happen. Quentin Johnston. I'm like, what? The dude from TCU? Insane. All right. Do we have a
That's
Dave
insane.
rant by any chance?
Wait.
Also, Dave's. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I want to see tell you guys the rest of this USA Today mock draft because it's
Go ahead.
truly insanity. All right, so this is just the top. I'll go the top 5. No, I'll just go top 10 for you of how nuts this is. So Titans, Cam Ward, Browns, Hunter, Giants, and this was by the way for preference. This was before I think Albert Breer reported today that Giants and Browns won't pick a QB. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that's just a leak. But Giants take Sanders, Patriots take Campbell, Jags take Mason Graham, Raiders take Jalen Milroe at 6th.
Dude, if I'm Tom Telesco, I'm laughing my ass off if they take
Dude.
Jalen Milroe. I'm laughing like crazy. I got you,
What's
Bowers.
the
you got Jalen Milroe.
justification? What does it say under there? Why? Why would you draft him at 6?
Now let's get funky, apparently. Milroe hasn't been thought of as a first-round pick, but he did nobody accept an invite to the green room for the draft. That must have been enough for Groke, who says the Raiders will let Milroe develop behind Geno Smith. There's no question he has the traits, but it's a shocking pick at 6. Anyway, the Raiders will choose to take a dynamic dual threat prospect rather than fill other glaring needs. Bold strategy.
I'll tell you right now why that won't happen. I'll give you 2 words. Pete Carroll. Dude, when you're 100, you don't draft projects. You know, Pete Carroll has the 5-year plan going on right now. I mean, what are we doing here? Right? Isn't Pete Carroll on the 5-year plan, Josh?
Yeah. Remind everybody what that means.
Yeah, don't die. That's the 5-year plan. Okay. You think he has time to develop Jalen Milroe? No, he doesn't. They brought Pete Carroll in for now, not for later. This is for now. This is
Let's get
ridiculous.
funky.
Yeah.
Let's get nuts.
I mean, what are we talking about here? Pete Carroll, I know, moves really well for his age, but good God, his Social Security number's 8. Like, let's move on. You got to win now, baby. What the hell's
All right,
going on?
What's the rest of that top 10?
So we have 7, Kelvin Banks, Texas Jets, James Pierce, Edge, Tennessee, Panthers. I actually really like James Pierce Jr. I was watching some of him today. That guy could really get through a wall. Saints, Jackson Dart. 10 is Tate McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona to the Bears. I think those last 2 picks, the Saints and Bears, means that, listen, I know it's legal. I know it's a good time, but you don't have to smoke it every day. That's my intake.
All right, Mario.
If you
has,
think
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you think you gotta take a receiver at 8-10 in Chicago after everything they did this past season, you're on something.
Considering they took a
Anyways.
receiver at 9 last year.
Yeah, and it didn't work well.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to build the
All right.
trenches.
What's the deal with Keenan Allen, by the way? What's he doing?
Sitting on the couch.
Chilling.
Watching
yeah.
the Masters.
Yeah. By the way, Rory, how fun.
Is that all you had to
I
say?
don't watch any of it right now.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
watch
I
any of
thought
it.
you guys had something. I was just, I'm
I
not a big
watched
golf
it.
guy.
I'm
but I was
not
cheering
not
for him.
either. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
I heard he's like kind of can be a punk sometimes. I don't know about that. I'm not a golf guy.
He's a
Mario-
little inside information.
Well, he's smug.
No, but there's a rivalry between like England and Ireland, right? And then he's from Northern Ireland, and at one point they asked him like, are you Irish or English or something like that, and he said that he likes Ireland, he likes England, and like considers himself kind of an Englishman too. And Ireland was like, dude, you're a little bit of a what. They didn't love that. That's all I got for you. That was like 5 years ago.
Did Conor McGregor not like his comments?
Yeah, I think McGregor was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he punched some random guy in the face at a bar for not drinking his beer.
Mario has
Oh.
3 minutes. Do we get a Dave rant in less than 3 minutes?
Yeah, I give you. I think we're all past the point of family members. I thought we were trying to push their
What?
political views on you. Like
Oh.
I thought we're done with it with Facebook also, but I guess we aren't, because if you go on Facebook, there are always people that are trying to tell you why you should believe one way or another. We always talk about we don't talk politics on this show, but good God, man, not one person has ever told me anything about politics where I've gone, all right, you got me. Never thought of it that way. No one's ever changed their political point of view from anything you've ever sent them on social media or through a text. All right. So my sister-in-law, and I hope she's not listening to this right now, yesterday sends me this long video and a podcast. And I just wrote her back. I go, look, love you very much. I don't want to fight with you. Don't send me this stuff. I go, call your nephew, Chris. I'm sure he's always up for an argument. He would love to fight with you right now. Don't send me this stuff. And then she's followed up with 3 more.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like, why are you doing this? I got to see her next week for Easter. Why'd she want to start a fight? She's never going to change my point of view. She knows it. And to sit there and compare me to the way I think to everything else, dude, it's not the way it's going to go. It drives me crazy. I don't know what to say. So again, stop sending political stuff. I don't like it on anything. I don't like it on Twitter. I don't like it on Instagram. I don't like it on Facebook. And I definitely don't like it in the grocery store. All right. Don't come up to the political point of views. You got major problems. You got major freaking problems right now. I'm talking to everybody out there. If you're sitting there trying to change someone's political stance, worry about your own life. You aren't perfect. That's it. Went on for hours.
Fair point. That's crazy. That random text about political opinion. That would send me up a hill.
Uphill. I can't even say what I want to say. All right. 'Cause I'm trying to.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what is fun to do though?
All right.
I do recommend this.
Yeah.
If there's 2 people that are like one way this way and one way that way is just after having a couple drinks, just toss an idea out there and just get ready for battle.
I
It's
trust me, I
really fun.
like the fights, but I like
Oh,
to do
I
them in
love
the
it.
room.
It's my
I like to do them in
favorite
the room,
thing to do.
not to
Yeah,
attend.
yeah. I like to not be involved, but watch what's going on.
Okay. There we go. All right. We got to get out of here. I know everyone's in a hurry. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back on Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Okay. For Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We'll fix the whole YouTube thing in a week. AK, I'm sorry. We saw all your messages on here, but we will fix the YouTube thing. Again, thanks so much for listening and participating. Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We'll see you Thursday at 1, everybody.